Previously on Planet Crafter.
We were dropped here by Sentinel Corp to terraform this planet and do so using nothing but our wits and what we find laying around. So we gathered some resources and we built a house upon a hill. We furnished our house with practical things like storage, which we finally managed to fill. We melted ice and flooded the world. We started growing algae to terraform this world. We've grown some grass and a lot of flowers. We planted some trees and now wonder why there's a giant beanstalk for us to see. We were banned from launching rockets as that caused meteorites to fall from the sky. We've now been attacked by meteorites and are now in fear whenever they fall from the sky. We've raided crashed ships and found railguns laying about. We found pulsar quartz in secret caves that ended with biomes having a heat wave. We found sandfalls that never end and super alloy that never bends. In our endless exploration, we found underground bunkers where Ziodan went mad. We built, we optimized, we grew until the terraform index was true. And remember, every like gives us a piece of osmium. Every new subscriber keeps us on track. G'day, mate. Welcome back to Planet Crafter with me, Jetty. And today's episode is probably going to be a little bit different. There's a number of things I want to get through, a number of things I need to explain. So first off, our terraformation index, it's slightly higher than when we left it. We left last episode at 2 billion terraformation TI, and we just started insects at 0%. We can see insects has gone up a little bit, not a whole lot, and our stats, our terraformation index has gone up an awful lot. Because we're really in the end stage of the game, okay? There's not a lot left that the devs haven't, not a lot left that the devs have put into the game. So what we have left to unlock is the nuclear fusion generator, which is at 750 UK. I can't remember what U stands for. Yeah, Editor Jetty will hopefully put it in. And we're at 600k. So we're fairly close to nuclear fusion generation, which is probably good because our power is okay, but it's not great. Oxygen, our next upgrade is the tree spreader T2. We've got the T1. We've put down T1. We've got a little forest going, and that's at 7.5 parts per million. So that's a little way away. And then our terraformation index, well, we got the teleporter at 25. We got the tree spreader T3 at like 50. We have the pulsar quartz at 175. And then, of course, we have the fusion cell at 360. 360 is a long way away, especially if it's been about half an hour, to get from 3 to 5. So we need to speed up the terraformation index. Now, the best way to do that is the terraformation is basically all the numbers added together. That's what gives us our total terraformation index. So, obviously, to boost those numbers, we want to look at whatever produces the biggest numbers the fastest and then maximize on that. So we have the drills that we just put down last episode. They're all right at 450-ish. We have the heaters, which are also okay at 500. Given the choice, obviously you want a heater over a drill. We have the flower spreaders T2, which, oxygen 300, plus it's the seed multiplier. We do know that if we put the golden seeds in there, they go up to like 1.9, I think it is. And then, of course, we have the tree spreader, which starts off at 920 and then has a 100 or a 150 multiplier, 100 or 150% seed that goes in the tree spreader, or possibly a 200 if we convert a golden seed. So tree spreaders, like for the oxygen count, seems to be the best for us. Like the biomass is 85. The biomass is pretty bad. Doesn't matter what we use, whether it be the algae generator, the flower spreader, or the tree spreader. We really want to maximize on our oxygen. And in our last episode, we confirmed that when we launched an extra magnetic field protection rocket, that pressure went from 1,000% to 2,000%, which is really, really important and really, really helpful because we're going to be boosting our oxygen production. We're going to send oxygen production through the roof. It also means we should unlock that tree spreader T2 fairly quickly because we do know from our flower spreader T1, which did 161, to the T2 that then did twice as much. In theory, the tree spreader T1 does 920. In theory, the T2 is going to be doing like 1800, which is a lot more. And then if we have a multiplier against it, that's a lot more. So first things first is we're going to run outside. Now, I've already cleaned up a lot. Our actual terraformation index per second has actually gone down because I removed most of the flower spreaders. I actually have optimized things an awful lot. I've removed a lot of the algae that we had out in the middle of the lake. I've just combined it into a whole lot of T2s in a very narrow area because we're also a little bit okay-ish on power. So what we want to do is we want to launch some seed spreader rockets. Now, the seed spreader rockets we do know are going to give us an oxygen multiplier of 1,000%. But we also know that if I launch one and then launch another and then launch another, we can at least get the first two to merge. We can't really get the third one to merge, but the devs in the previous update added the whole we can click control to build multiple things at the same time. So yeah, that glass is very green. So we're gonna send our very special rocket off to space. Yeah, that's 5 of them at once. Which means the air's about to get very, very... Wow, they actually made it to space. The air's about to get very, very green, and our oxygen... Very, very green. Our oxygen multiplication should go through the roof. So we went from 1,000 to 6,000, and we're now doing how much? 14 million per second, which should definitely speed up our oxygen. Should also speed up the overall terraformation index here. That's actually moving now. So that's our first thing we need to do. Second thing we need to do is power's okay so-ish, but what I actually need to do is I need to set up some miners over in the uranium mine. Because to launch more rockets, our limiting factor is rocket engines. And rocket engines require 2 pieces of uranium. I just don't have uranium. We do have that uranium mine and we need to go check out. But like iridium rods, we're fine on. Super alloy, we're fine on. We can just make more. Uranium, a little bit of a problem. So we're going to get a little bit of nummy. We're going to go and take our go chest. And we're going to go for a travel across the map. And put down a couple of miners. Like 4. We have 800 kilowatts. If I put down 4 of these at 160 energy each, that leaves us not a lot of energy left over. Okay, so we've got our miners put down. Managed to get 4 of them. I would have liked to have had 4 in a row, but you know. And one of the features of the T2 miner is not only does it grab the rare resources that we couldn't get previously, it's also meant to be a lot more efficient at grabbing that particular resource and nothing else. So in here I've set up a little habitat, little space to, you know, collect our goodies. So our plan is we're going to be able to collect a whole bunch of uranium, convert it straight into uranium rods here, and then move it back to base. Or I could just start building nuclear reactors out here. At the same time, I have put in a lot of basic material, well, a lot of room for basic materials. We'll have to bring over aluminium directly, but we should be able to convert anything. As long as we bring over the aluminium, we should be able to make right here super alloy, which we can also put in our chest and then take home. We've already got food, we've already got water here. We're pretty much fine as far as this one's concerned. So next thing I need to do is I need to go for a walk around the map, okay? Because some things have changed. As the terraformation index has changed, things on the map have changed. We've got the zeolite. That's still the green going on outside. Yep, it's still green outside. 5 rockets takes a while. We've found like the giant beanstalk in the iridium mine. Things have changed. So I need to go for a wander. I need to look to see whether anything else has changed. This sulfur mine used to be an iridium mine. So the devs have also changed things. So we need to go for a look around and see what we can see. Also looks like the London Eye is now contaminated. So we might need to go, I don't know, spray some bugs or something. So that's going to be our plan for the moment. And straight out the door, things have definitely changed. We now have a plant Amia just growing in the wild, which is one of the ones with the oxygen multiplier of 450%, which is probably going to be handy, because if we run those into the tree spreader, if we turn those into tree seeds, they actually come out with a 150% multiplier, and there's another one just hanging around. Okay, so we want to come down and check out this sulfur mine, which is red. It has pulsar quartz in it. Good, because we didn't have a lot of pulsar quartz. Okay, that's the way down. Now, this cave, we did visit a couple of episodes ago, and I said it was the most boring cave ever, and it looks like it was a copy of another cave. And it looks like the devs have got around to changing this, and it definitely is full of pulsar quartz, which is great. It's also very, very foggy. Okay, no loot boxes, but what's that? Seven pieces of pulsar quartz? I'm not going to say no. And our next step is to probably check out this iron shack, confirm, just from map view, that everything else looks mostly the same. Yeah, we definitely got plant matter showing up here, there, and everywhere. And why is there a hole in that rock? Okay, so out the door and to our right here. Oh, okay. That's why there's a hole in the rock. With explosive powder, an iridium rod, a golden effigy, and another golden seed. I will definitely take that off your hands. Okay, so our next step from here is, as I said, I need to do some wandering around. I need to find out whether there's more seeds. I think that's going to be a big one. Can we look at what the terraformation is up to? No. Cobalt. We're up to oxygen 4.27. So we've still got a while to go before we unlock the tree spreader T2. Okay, I need to go for a wander. I'm also going to have to dump my loot probably, or dump my inventory a few times between A and B because, you know, inventory space. Just out in Zeodan's biome, just checking out, make sure nothing's changed. And if you see a rock with a red mark on the back of it, you'll find it's got zeolite on the other side, which is very, very handy. We're also picking up any old wind turbines I threw down because we've been using them to mark zeolite now that we have zeolite popping up here, there, and everywhere. Alright, so after 10 minutes of quickly wandering around the map, we can see out of our 4 miners, we have a significant amount of uranium already. And so far it's about 60% uranium, which means I've got 1 rod. Oh, actually, we've probably got more than that. Okay, we've got 2 1/3 rods, but I do believe if I take a piece of aluminium, plus a cobalt, an iron, a magnesium, a silicon, and a titanium, convert that into super alloy, pick up the other super alloy, plus the explosive powder, 3 bottles of water, these 2 rods, plus this rod, I do believe that's our first free nuclear reactor. Yep. We're going to put these out of sight, out of mind. I'm probably going to die of thirst if I'm not careful. Oh no, we still can't path around there. Okay, so we're going to put you... Really can't put these anywhere. Okay, we're going to put you there. That's our first reactor done. And I want them, like I said, tucked out of the way, well and truly. Please have spare water in here. Cool. And then I think the next thing I need to do is I need to go back home. Went and checked out Zeodan's biome, found zeolite, obviously. Went and checked out the osmium cave on the way back through to uranium. Again, found zeolite. That stuff is like a pest. It's invaded everywhere. But I think we're at the point where I need to go look at, like, yeah, dumping the inventory. So with the little bit of uranium we brought home, we could make more rockets and we could push our oxygen percentage higher, which is a very, very good idea, except one of our limiting factors is we actually need bark. Now, bark comes from the biome T2, but not the T1. In fact, the T1 doesn't seem to do anything anymore. It's literally a waste of space. If we check the crafting, it produces 135 oxygen, where a tree spreader does 920. And the only thing it had was a control panel that told us that we unlocked a tree spreader at 75, 70 tons, whatever it is. So I don't think we have a need for a biome anymore. We do for a biome T2 still. But I'm thinking actually, no, I'm thinking we want to put in our... Yeah, I'm thinking we want to put in our last radar dish. We've still got one rocket to find, I believe. I believe there's 12 total on the map. And yeah, I think I want to remove the biodome. We need to go down the ladder. I want to remove the ladder as well. I think that's what we need for another biome T2. Yes, it looks like it. And then we're going to have to go up from outside. No, I'm going to have to... So this building was a 3x3. That one's a 3x4. So we're going to actually have to remove the biome T2. Also the stairs that hang out the rear, which means that whole staircase has to come down. Go back in from the bedroom, and we're going to put in a biome T2 right there, with a follow-up biome right there, and then I'd be perfect if I get the stairs to fall right here in the middle. Because literally, we just want to come in and grab our tree bark from here, and our tree bark from here. So we'll put the stairs back where they were, and I will call that perfect. I will call that perfectly good enough. So we now have doubled up our tree bark manufacturing abilities, I guess. And so we can also now craft the Humaloa with an oxygen multiplier of 150. Obviously, we'd love to have the golden seed one. Well, actually, we have a golden seed. You know what? We're going to start crafting those. Done. So that's going to take a minute. Meanwhile, I have excess resources we can dump in our inventory. We have been producing seeds on the side. I've got a few, but more is always better, because I think once we get our next level of oxygen, our next level of tree spreaders, we're going to go crazy on tree spreaders. Okay, with the biolab now done, we're getting close to the nuclear fusion. Okay, it's only 100 points away. Oxygen still 2 million. 2 million. That's going to take a second. And our overall terraformation just really hasn't moved. But we do have plenty of materials to go build more tree spreaders. So I think that's what we're going to do. We have a lovely coastline. I'm thinking we're just going to cover the coast. Our limit is how quickly we can get tree bark. Everything else, the super alloy, the mutagen, every other item, even... Well, not really the tree seed. So we need 2 bark to make one of these things. We need one to make a seed, and we need a second one for the machine. But we should be able to thoroughly increase our overall oxygen production by just dropping some seeds in each one of these guys. They're all 125 seeds, so they're not going to be terribly, terribly great. But it's still like, it's an extra 1,000 points per second multiplied by 5. Multiplied by, what's our bonus? 600%? It should be a massive bonus to our overall terraformation index. Also, a massive bonus to our oxygen per second. So we're now at, what's that? 1.8 million. And we just rolled over 6. Okay, so we're a little bit closer, a little bit faster, getting there a little bit. Yeah, that's actually moving now. Okay, so next point of action is we need to go find out what happened to our London Eye. We need to find out what's on it, whether it's safe to handle or not. And then I think we're going to come back through the Grand Canyon, back through the labyrinth, and then back into the base, because at the moment we're just biding our time, really waiting for those next couple of upgrades. Well, the London Eye has seen better days. It seems like some weeds went contaminated our lovely, what was meant to be a Stargate, that then crashed from outer space. Here's our little loot hut, which I believe is empty, right? Yes, and a quick look on the map, if we zoom all the way in, yeah, it just looks like it's been contaminated by some weeds. And funnily enough, at least in here, I haven't seen any flowers. So this must be still too dry to have flowers grow. Although we did find some over there in that biome. And I found flowers and zeolite on the way here. But next one is we need to go down to the Grand Canyon and see if it's changed. Considering it's full of water, I'm going to go with yes, it's changed slightly. And there's zeolite literally right here. Yes, it's also been contaminated by weeds. It has a beanstalk. Or two. Well, there's some more of that flower. And at least now I've got a good view of the biome from above. That zeolite. That zeolite. Okay, so it looks like there's zeolite on the top of these plateaus, which were desert, if memory serves. And there's zeolite down there. We've got some things we need to gather. So this is beanstalk number 3, 4, and has, again, a little bit more zeolite for us. We're slowly filling up our inventory. We also found a piece of iridium in the iridium cave over there that was not there previously. But because the devs have been in tweaking things, I guess they decided that everybody needs one extra piece of iridium. And more zeolite. And another beanstalk. And a loot box. That's not going to fit in our pocket. Okay, we're going to take those. Can I drink? Well, I can drink a little bit of it. The seeds and the lyrium don't really matter anymore. Alright, we'll grab the zeolite. I guess we grab a lyrium seed. We'll have to leave the loot box here. I need oxygen. Okay, I need oxygen. Okay, after inventory dumped and went back and picked up loot box, we're back at this jet fighter, and I don't remember reading this message previously. But private scavenger, letter of mission reconnaissance, a normal number of ships of various companies have disappeared in the Izatel Prime sector. Go there and find any information. Primary objectives, investigate sector, find any reasons why some ships seem to have vanished. Secondary objectives, find and report presence of any hostile life, identify and crash ships and report them there to their respective corporations. Record whereabouts of all merchandises found. I'm curious of where the merchandise... Because, like, a company that's in charge of prisoners is getting paid for the prisoners? Buying the prisoners? Hoping to turn a profit on them? Oh, and the Osmium Cave's full of water. Well, there you go. Okay, Osmium Cave is full of water. Confirmed. The Labyrinth doesn't seem to have anything new in it. It doesn't seem to be changed at all. It doesn't look like the devs have touched it in the recent patches and that sort of stuff. I seem to be drying up on the plants. We're not finding any more, but we just got Tree Spreader T2. So we need to duck back to base. Yeah, we'll leave some... We'll eat some food and leave some water. And yeah, we need to duck back to base and go find out, actually, what is required for a Tree Spreader T2. Zeolite. I'm glad we've been picking that up. So we need Super Alloy, Bacteria, Tree Bark, and Fertilizer T2. And as predicted, it does twice the oxygen. Not quite twice the oxygen, but then we get a multiplier on top of that. So let's go play with a Tree Spreader T2. Okay, now we're back at base. So a Tree Spreader T2 still needs bark, still needs the bacteria, still needs the super alloy, no longer needs fertilizer. We now need T2 fertilizer, and we need zeolite. So, zeolite is one of the resources we can't mine, but we've been fairly successful in it so far. Fertilizer T2, we have some stockpiles. What do we need to get more? Because I don't think we've crafted any of it yet. Oh, we need squash. That's why we had squash planted. Well, we haven't made bioplastic in quite some time. Nor have we made... Oh, we're going to need to start making fertilizer if we're going to start making fertilizer T2. Okay, which is going to need methane cartridges. So we're going to start burning through cartridges as well. Okay, so what we need to do is probably go to our seeds, grab some beanstalks. 5. Collect our first 5 mushrooms. Pull out and swap the seeds. Put in the right seeds. Okay, so that'll start making squash, and we'll have 5 per harvest. 5 per harvest would make 5 fertilizer T2, so that's a decent amount. Fertilizer T1, obviously we're going to need a lot of eggplant for sulfur. That's okay, we're mining it. Algae, we've got plenty of algae. Algae's not an issue. Methane cartridges means we're probably going to need another gas extractor. So let's get one of those in and done. Alright, second gas extractor beside the first. We're going to have to make sure we empty these more often and make sure we don't get oxygen. Consume. No, gauge already full. It's not full. Okay, alright. We'll put the food... We'll put those in the ready-go box. Okay, also means tree bark. Okay, so tree bark, we've doubled the output at least. So we have 2 of these. First thing I do when I come into base is I always collect it, because only having 2 slots, it takes a while to produce. That's another 200% seed. But we can also get 150s with the O'Meara. So let's get some O'Mearas crafted. Yeah. Okay, and to make the T2, so we're going to need tree bark fertilizer. So let's start with 4. 4 seems like a perfectly reasonable number. Bacteria, 4. Obviously, we grab seeds whilst we're here, so we might as well grab the best 4 seeds. Yeah, they're all 125s. Okay. Next up is super alloy, fertilizer, and zeolite. Curiosity power-wise, we got 200 kilowatts, and these are going to use 70 each, which is 280 kilowatts. So we're going to have to probably either decommission something or find some extra power, and that heat, the next power generator is still 50 kilowatts, 50 heat cycles away. Alright, so I caved and I pulled up a seed spreader, because at the end of the day, these things are so much more efficient, we should be able to replace them. And these do not have to be placed in the water. Okay. So I think we're going to start over here. And if I put a 200% in here, that's 3.9. That's a massive amount. I'll put the next one over here on the side of the hill with a standard 125 in there. That's still 2.4 parts per trillion. That's, again, a massive amount. And 3 is all I can afford power-wise. Actually, you use 71 and you guys use 30. And you're doing 2.4. And how much are these guys doing still? 1.9. Okay, so technically these guys are still more efficient with the best seeds in the game. And power-wise, we're down to 35 kilowatts. And water-wise, we're almost dying of thirst. Okay, so one thing we can do on our limited power is launch more rockets. So I'm thinking another oxygen rocket or two, you know, to really spike the numbers. We're at 8, so that got us the tree spreader, but we're only at 10. So 2 more rockets would take us up to 8,000%. Okay, love the fact that I can build them one on top of another. Okay, launch. Oh, they're not even going up. Oh, there they go. There they go. Okay, and these guys have started dropping down some trees. Frames are really bad outside again. Yeah, I have a feeling the trees and the seeds, so the two things that we're using most of, are really dropping the frame rate. That's 3 million. 3 million oxygen per second. So that we should get to 1% shortly. So it came back to nuclear mine and just grabbed all the uranium and then converted the whole lot. And it turns out we picked up enough to make, well, 3 rods is 1 reactor. That's 2 reactors. I brought the explosive powder here with me. I'm leaving some here. I also put a water collector right outside the door. So the only thing we need is super alloy. That's the only ingredient we don't have here locally, which we're picking up enough odd resources that if I just fill this with aluminium, it pretty much means each time we come here, we could basically build 2 nuclear reactors, which is another 600 power every visit, if I actually have the water in my inventory. So with 2 reactors every visit giving us 600 power, and these need 70, we could build like 8 of these per trip to the nuclear reactors, which is going to add up real fast. Unfortunately, I'm going to take these ones home. I don't need to take water home. No, I'm going to take these ones home because we want to get another reactor at home. I also need to go visit our osmium mine. That could be the last reactor where we're adding to Reactor Alley. And we'll just build the rest of them at the new location. So, with that done, heat's about to tick over to our new power supply. But we've sort of got power handled now. In fact, we can pull up the old heaters. We can actually rip up a lot of things. What I want to do is I want to definitely put down, now we've got that fixed, more tree spreaders. So we have, I got 5 fertilizer T2, which we can easily power. So we just need 5 pieces of zeolite. That's easy. Five tree bark, 2 from there, and 2 from there. Oh, 1 from storage. We need a seed. We just finished a homola blah blah blah. We can throw a golden seed in here and get that start processing. We can grab a homola blah 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 from there. We should move our seeds across. We should move whatever good seeds we got over there across to here. We needed bacteria and just super. Alright, so we need to find somewhere to drop these trees. I'm thinking right here behind the space platform. We can go 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, and we'll start at the top. We have one of the nice seeds. I'm actually pulled that out of the old forest. Another one. We were right on about 3 million oxygen. I'm wondering how another 5 of these added to the list actually improves things. Where's the other one? Oh, there it is. Okay, and that's a 150. So 150 is 2.9. You're a... Oh, you're also a 150. Okay, so we've only got the good stuff now. You're I can't read that. 2.4. Okay, so 2.9, 2.4, or... You're a 2.4 as well, or... 3.9. 3.9 is a lot. It also means that these seed spreaders need to go away. 4.1. So each time we add 5 of those, we add another million per second, which means we should get this start ticking over reasonably quickly. Also, once we start launching more rockets, each one of those is going to increase exponentially. So I think I'm going to leave this episode here. I think I need to just babysit the bark generation, because that's really what's holding us up. You cost a bark. Okay, nuclear fusion generator. Well, that will definitely solve any power problems that we no longer have. Out of curiosity, pulsar quartz 5 of, super alloy 4 of. And do they have to be aligned in that sort of pattern? Probably. Probably the whole thing explodes. We have... What's that? 5, 10, 12? 12. So we can build 2 of them. Don't get me wrong, 1600 power each is a lot more than our... So the nuclear fusion generators, what do they cost? They cost 5 pulsar quartz and 4 super alloy. I'm assuming they have to be arranged in that order so things don't explode. And they do 1600 power, which is a lot. But pulsar quartz is something we can't craft yet. And it's probably going to be required for the teleporter that we need to get to 25 GI to get to, which we're getting there slowly. Whereas nuclear generators, we can pretty much, we worked out, just pump them out now. Like, explosive powder is probably a limiting factor. And that is, well, sulfur and iridium. So that's not too hard. So, quickly, before we leave this episode here, we're at 4 million oxygen. And I realized a tree spreader T1 and a tree spreader T2, the difference in the recipe is literally fertilizer T1 becomes fertilizer T2, and we swap out the bioplastic for a piece of zeolite. And our power's pretty okay. So what I want to do is I just want to do an exchange. I want to remove 5 of these guys and upgrade them from T1 to T2. Because we only need a couple of components to make that happen. And it removes the limitation of the tree bark. Alright, a couple of those removed. Grumpy Sun again. We're going to put down Tree Spreader T2. Performance-wise, I don't think I actually want these anywhere near my base. These are all 125 seeds. Actually, it turns out I can do another one. Alright, with 5 of them upgraded from T1 to T2, we did, after putting down 5 of them, we went from 3 million to 4 million. With just upgrading them, we went from 4 to a bit over 4.5. So just upgrading them is going to make a massive difference. At the same time, we've unlocked everything. Our next one is the teleporter, then the tree spreader, then the pulsar quartz, and then the fusion energy cell. And exploration-wise, well, we still have this whole section over here that we haven't got to. That's the only part of the map we haven't explored yet, just this corner. So I think in next episode, well, I'm going to have to babysit a few things and get a few things up and running to get some more fertilizer, some more power, some more everything. More explosive powder as well. Zeolite we're alright on for a little while, but definitely upgrade a lot of our fertilizer to fertilizer T2. We have spare explosive powder. So getting more nuclear reactors should be okay. And babysitting the bark process. The bark to seed process. Yes. With those goals out of the way, I think next episode we should probably be able to get the final exploration done, I hope. We'll see. We'll see. Either way, I'm going to call this episode here. As always, Thank you guys so much for watching. Do hope you've enjoyed. Do hope you're enjoying this particular series. And I will see you guys in the very next video. All right, bye.